How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sundays 3 Pacific 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it is a Wednesday here on the show, and you know what that means? We got a lot to talk about today. Do we ever? I was actually looking at the lineup of things here, and things have changed. Because of everything going down with Masha Slamovic, who is currently under investigation by TNA. Sports Illustrated was told Tuesday they're looking into allegations of domestic abuse by Slamovic, which surfaced on social media. So we'll tell you about what's going on there, how it affects not only TNA, but many other shows as well. We got an update on the NXT show from last night. I got a lot to say about NXT. The bloom is off the rose. Maybe I was just in a bad mood, but just not my cup of tea lately. And one of the wrestlers is gone. Just awkwardly written off the show last night. And we'll tell you what happened. We'll talk about some more knockouts going to the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame, class of 2025. An update on Tiffany Stratton. We've got some Collision ratings notes. Might talk about John Cena Sr., who's not happy about some aspects of his son's final run. And, of course, the NXT TV report. So a lot to get into here today. Filthy Tom is going to be joining us. You can join us as well. 425-780-7566 is the phone number. That is 425-780-7566. You can email me, f4wonline@gmail.com. I'm also F4W Online on Threads, Instagram, and Cameo, and at Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. Back in a moment with more Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We got a big Elimination Chamber report here. And also Collision from Saturday, which actually was a pretty damn good show in its own right.
I was not told to watch Collision.
Vinny?
I forgot to text him Thursday night. I figured he'd be in bed. I said I'd do it tomorrow. And then Friday I bought a car. I was busy, and I've been forgot. John comes out, looks into the camera, and says, "There's a vibe in here tonight."
Sure is.
I'll say. Punk's eyes are bugging out of his head. Seth is still there screaming, "Die, die!" And Seth gets his way. Punk dies. John Cena wins. I thought the finish of this was incredible. Great stuff.
God, Travis Scott. Jesus God almighty. This was exactly like when Hogan used to come to the ring, Dennis Rodman trailing him, and Dennis Rodman was like on another planet. He had no idea where he was at, stumbling to the ring. He had basically have to drag him down there. This Travis Scott was on another planet, dude.
Well, the first time he was on the show was on that Raw show. He was smoking a blunt in the audience.
They go from the hug to a shot of Cena's angry heel face, and they cut right to Rock On. And then he kicks him right in the balls. And the crowd freaked out. The John Cena turned heel. Hulk Hogan, he was getting booed before he turned. It was a risk, but, they were getting sick of the guy anyway. The problem with Steve Austin was he was the top babyface, and there was nobody to replace him when he turned. John Cena's been gone forever. He comes back. It's not like he was going to be the top babyface. They got 50 babyfaces. Cody's the biggest babyface they got. There's no risk whatsoever turning John Cena heel. He's 10 times more interesting now. The Cena and Cody feud is 1,000 times more interesting.
Travis hit Cody Rhodes in the face as hard as he could. I bet that sucked.
This was a big deal, and I didn't see it coming.
You guys need to listen to Observer Live on Friday.
No thanks.
Because some dude called in, all bombastic and outrageous.
Do y'all think that John Cena is going to be the one that turns heel and joins The Rock as his champion?
No chance. And I shot him down. I laughed at him.
Wow.
I said it's not going to happen. John Cena's here to sell tickets and merch as a babyface for his last year. He ain't turning heel.
They need to make shirts for John Cena that just say, "Can you see me now?"
Got to apologize to old Dwayne. I thought that guy was out of his mind. He got me. This is awesome. I cannot wait to see where they go here. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Filthy Tom Lawler joining us here today. And we got a lot to get into, so let's just start with the bad news. Masha Slamovic currently under investigation by TNA. TNA told Sports Illustrated Tuesday evening they'll be looking at Slamovic following allegations of domestic abuse that surfaced on social media earlier in the day. We take any allegations like this very seriously, have begun an internal investigation. Slamovic was previously in a relationship with former MLW wrestler Akira. A friend of his on social media shared a Dropbox link on Tuesday, allegedly contained text messages between the two. Additionally, pictures of Akira showing injuries were also shared. Akira wrote about the situation on social media later in the day. While not referring to Slamovic by name, he talked about their relationship, sharing intimate and difficult details. Wrote that during the relationship, he attempted to commit suicide on 3 different occasions. Prestige Wrestling has announced Slamovic will not be appearing on the October 5th show. West Coast Pro announced she will no longer be competing at the How the West Was Won show. She has been pulled from Prestige, replaced by Shayna Baszler. And, obviously, the article promoting the match for this weekend has been taken down from the TNA website. So originally this weekend, it was going to be Ash by Elegance versus Masha Slamovic with Indy Hartwell as the guest referee for the Knockouts title. It seems clear that match is not happening. What they will do, I do not know at this point. But she appears to be off that show. WWE is keeping an eye on things because obviously they have the relationship with TNA. So, certainly not good. And all of the tweets and everything are up on Twitter if you happen to want to read them. But that is the latest on that. Don't know if you have anything you want to add, Tom.
I know both of these wrestlers. I've been on many shows with both of them. I did not expect to wake up yesterday and see what first was admiration for Masha for being, I think, number 25 on the PWI 500. The highest woman on the list, and then it turned into just a terrible situation. I read the entire Dropbox. It was horrific in a lot of ways.
How much is in there? I saw some text messages.
It took me, I don't know, 100?
Wow.
Maybe more. It was quite a read. And, there's instances in which, obviously, this is just like, it seemed to be a toxic relationship, a few instances in which they got into physical altercations. There's one message in there where Akira mentions Masha blocking his way and him moving her, and then her headbutting him, and then they get into a scuffle and he eventually taps her out. So you can only imagine the kind of relationship and what may have led to that. So hopefully each one of these people, Akira and Masha, can get some clarity from the situation and both come out of this better people. And, best wishes to both of them. I don't want to see this happen to anybody. So bad situation.
Should mention that the Prestige show that she has been pulled from, they've only got I guess 4 shows left, and then they're done. Indefinite hiatus. And you worked for Prestige, so I presume not going to be on any of those shows because of your hip? No appearances or anything?
Well, I haven't been on one of those Prestige shows for longer than that, so my hip's not the reason why. But, yeah, sad to see
terrible wrestling.
Prestige go. Yeah, that's why, Brian.
Okay.
That's what it is. I sucked. Longest reigning champion they ever had. Yeah, sad to see a top independent promotion go, but It's life, brother.
All right, last night, oh man, this NXT show. I wish I could just do the Vinny show now, uncensored. I am over NXT.
Oh, really?
And it really, it hit me last night.
It's jumped the shark.
You know when it jumped the shark? You know when it actually jumped the shark? There were 2 moments when the show jumped the shark for me. I could go on for hours. I probably will tomorrow. But the 2 moments when the show jumped the shark were, I'm trying to think which one came first. I think it was...
Scintillating.
Well, it's very important that I get these in the correct order. I guess it was later. Okay, so the first thing was they did the JC Jane promo, and Lola Vice interrupts, and they have a back and forth, and Lola lays her out, stands tall.
Yeah.
And I thought,
no.
I told you guys. I told you. So Lola was responsible for JC getting pinned by Rhea Ripley on the PLE. So she stood tall there. And then she stood tall over her also on this show. And they have a title match this weekend. And I know you didn't believe me, Tom. I know people don't want to believe me.
Oh, I believe you now.
Dude, she's losing to JC Jane. They did all of those awesome video packages for her. She's so over. They built her up so big, and JC's going to beat her.
You know what I think's happening? I think Lania Reed's winning that speed title, and she's joining Fatal Influence, and that's how JC Jane retains.
It very well could happen. And then, I'm just, it obviously hasn't happened. I mean, it's possible we could be wrong. But the bigger issue is that this company, I have no faith that, anybody's going to get put over that people want to see get put over. And it all stems from Javon, okay? Because I was invested in this guy, and, he was great, and then he gets put in 4-ways for the title. He doesn't win, but, he's in the 4-ways. And then finally, they put him in a one-on-one singles match with Oba, and he loses yet again. Okay, it's been 18 months. He lost again. And then... okay, you lose a title match, whatever, but what's important is the follow-up after you lose a title match. So the follow-up is he vanished. And, the announcers nonchalantly mention nobody's heard from this guy for a week. But anyway, we're going to go to the ring, and, nobody cares where the guy went. It's they don't even care about this guy. So he vanishes. A week later, he comes back, and he's all depressed and sad. And it's okay, you had your big shot, you lost... You were depressed for a week. Now it's time to, fire up and maybe we'll get this thing done. Guy comes back and he ends up in a match with, what's-his-face? Briggs. And, they have a great match. The fans are going nuts. They're all ready once again. And they beat Javon. He loses again, okay? And when it was over, I was like, okay, well, now what? I mean, is Briggs... Briggs just lost a championship match, or it's actually the number 1 contenders match. That guy's just, in the mid-card now.
No, he did have a championship match.
Well, he did, but then they had another number 1 contenders match. It was him and Ricky, and Ricky beat him. So Briggs, he lost a number 1 contenders match, but then he goes and beats Javon, and I'm like, where are we going with all of this? So on the show last night, out of the blue... Briggs just cuts a promo, and he talks about how he's wrestling Javon on Saturday on the PLE. I was like, what? Why are you wrestling Javon again? Why? You beat the guy.
Seems like a lateral move.
It's a total lateral move. And then you look at the lineup for the show, and it's championship. And at the very bottom, it just says Javon Evans versus Josh Briggs. I'm like, it's been 18 months. This dude is now back going 50-50 in the mid-card with another guy who's going 50-50. And then, this whole... I was just And then, it's everybody... They want to see Javon, get pushed, and he just gets beaten unmercifully. Now they want to see Lola get pushed. It looks like she's going to be beaten. But then we've got these Dark State guys. I mean, they're not over. Nobody cares. But they're the champions. I'm just I don't care about this show. I just don't care about anybody anymore. I'm who could possibly care? I don't know, man.
Hey, what happened to Tyra May Steele?
Who knows? She's another one. There's a point to all of this, by the way, but I'll have to get to it after the break because I just ranted about how this show is just like, it's the only show where they build up somebody for a top spot and then just yank the carpet out and they fall back down to the mid-card. Like, is anyone ever going to get a push in this company? Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. It is the annual Christmas show. We have Big Vinny V as always, who's wearing a hat.
Can confirm.
Sean is here as always. He is not festive at all.
I forgot my hat.
Granny is here. Granny, what's going on?
Hello.
Craig is here, not festive at all.
Yep.
And we have Filthy Tom. Oh boy. Should we do shots now?
No.
I think I should probably watch this for a second. Oh my god. Granny is doing a joyride.
I thought they were going to be here.
A box of tissues. Clearly that was for Vinny.
Scotty's.
How dare you? Yeah!
Who is this? My guest?
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
John in Memphis is on the air and he is hammered. I'm a cool guy, right? I'm invited to the barbecue. God damn it!
Merry Christmas!
I got sober up for this call.
Yes.
That's a girl.
Oh, is this Harley Cameron?
How
Love
did you
you.
know? I even put
I
on the
love you.
American accent.
It is? Everyone shut up.
Hold on.
You are the most talented performer in the entire business.
Yes, man.
What are you doing in pro wrestling?
First of all, you've been far too generous and kind, and I appreciate you.
I don't think I've ever seen Vinny that happy before.
Bro, ladies and
Yeah, I'm
gentlemen,
going to prison.
welcome to the show today here with Filthy Tom Waller and the Goon Squad.
Tom, what are you doing?
I gotta pee.
Well, go pee then. Don't do it on air.
Hola,
Way to go.
Hola?
¿cómo estás?
Is this the Beast Mortos? Yes!
That could not go any better.
The Beast Mortos is here on the air. Beast, how you doing? He sounds very agitated, Vinny.
I'm starting to get the feeling this is not a live call with the Beast Mortos.
The Beast is short-circuited. No!
That's the moon.
¿Cómo estás?
What is happening?
Hello, Brian.
Is this Don Callis?
Rob is using the Meltzer star rating for his urinal visits. Just so you know, I'm 7 stars, baby.
Ah!
So that's it.
If it's 7 stars, I want to see it.
What? So, I could go on and on. So the point of all of that was, we're talking about the whole Lola Vice thing. So, like 3/4 of the way through the show, completely at random, Javon is cutting a promo, and he's just like being silly. Like, he's just like a guy who just doesn't care anymore. He's just all being wacky. And then we hear a crash. And he's like, don't worry about that. He's being whacked. And then we hear another, And so they go over there, and Jasmine Nix is laid out on the ground. Okay. And guys,
This was my favorite thing on the show, actually.
guys, no, I was infuriated. Here's the thing. Have you guys been watching this show? They have been teasing a breakup of JC, Fallon, and Jasmine Fatal Influence. They've been teasing a breakup of these three, for what? It feels like months and months. 6 months, 8 months.
The entirety of the stable.
I mean, literally, they did a deal where they all teased that they were going to have a breakup for months. And then they all helped JC win and acted like it was all a ruse. But then they still hated each other. This has been going on for months and months and months, okay? So, in real life, Jasmine's contract has come up, okay? They offered her a new deal. She didn't like the money.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
She says, I'm out of here, okay? So, instead of like knowing her contract is up, maybe she'll stay, maybe she'll go. You guys watched the television. Like they were positioning her as the one that would break away as a babyface. Instead of doing that in advance of the contract expiring or whatever, they wait till the very literal last minute. She says, no, it doesn't work for me, brother. And so after all that, after seemingly like over a year of teasing they were going to break up, she is found laid out on the floor, and Jasmine just says, it doesn't matter. It was time to drop her anyway. Only the strong survive. And that's the end of Jasmine Nix on NXT. I was like, I waited years. Seemingly years for this breakup.
That was a great payoff. Are
and
you
you guys waited till the very last second. You couldn't even do a match, a loser leaves town match. Loser leaves town and they screw her, and
Bryan.
you waited till the last second and you came up with a phantom attack, and JC just goes, nah, should have got rid of her anyway.
Yeah. What we saw from JC Jane was historic. I have never seen someone on television provide so little emotion or investment into somebody being dead at their very feet. It was fantastic.
No, sticker. He says, let it play out. No, it has played out. It's done. She's finished. That was them writing her off television. And then,
let it play out. She herself has gone on social media and explained the situation and said she got offered a contract. It wasn't up to her liking, so she left.
Bro,
she's gone.
Last week, even your dog, I wish he could just mournfully wail as I do this report. Last week, Grayson Waller announces that I'm going to talk to everybody and I'm going to set up a champion versus champion match. NXT versus TNA. Champion versus champion, winner takes all in the show. And as soon as he said it, I was like, what? What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
You knew what we were doing.
So then, they announced this early, and throughout the show, they've got all of this, stuff, This guy's mad, this TNA guy's mad, this TNA's guy is mad.
Trick and Oba show up at the very beginning, and they're being hunted in the parking lot.
No, you're getting ahead of yourself. This is last week. Last week they announced a match, and all these tweets appear from various, NXT or TNA wrestlers who are angry. They don't like the way this is being done. They're upset. They mention they may be there next week, the whole thing, okay? The show goes off the air, although most of us didn't see it, with Regal meeting with Ava and saying, I don't know if this is going to be good next week, okay? Now, this is completely unrelated to storylines, but it's my own storyline. Ava agreed to this match next week in storyline, okay? Regal says, this may not be good next week. We might have company. Ava then goes to England.
Can you imagine?
Which, by the way, is legit. She's in England right now. She's on a vacation. So
what?
In storyline, she set up this riot and then no-showed the show and left these other geeks in charge. So then,
incompetence at the highest level.
The show begins and TNA people start showing up. And throughout the show, this TNA person's backstage. This TNA person's in the crowd. And golly, I try so hard not to just get as mad at Vic as Vinny does. But this idiot just keeps asking throughout the show, why are these guys here? What are they doing here this week? I'm like, Vic, you're the only idiot on earth that does. You're the one reading the tweets last week, dude.
Booker T is like in hysterics, like he doesn't want them there. He's scared the entire time. What are these people doing here? He sees it as a threat.
Vic doesn't get it. I don't know why they're here. What are they doing in the building? Well, obviously, they do the main event champion. And by the way, like, we all knew what was going to happen, okay? But it's like, they didn't even pretend that wasn't going to happen. Did NXT open with like a big video package? Here's the history of the TNA title. Here's the history of the NXT title. This is a monumental night. We're going to unify these titles. Nothing. They barely even mentioned it.
You know what Vic said? He goes, this is going to change the course of Turning Point and whatever the Saturday show is. Not the course of NXT.
No.
Not the course of TNA. Despite the fact that their two major titles could be combined here. No. Only the shows this weekend are going to be affected. Don't worry.
They don't even pretend they're going to unify these titles tonight. So they start doing the match. It's fine. And then all these TNA guys start showing up. And then, Santana jumps the rail. He starts to do commentary. And finally, there's like 2 minutes left of TV. They don't even give it time to breathe. There's 2 minutes left. They end up outside. Trick gets in Santana's face. Santana punches him. Ref calls for the DQ. There's now 90 seconds left of television. So 500 people from both locker rooms have 90 seconds to get to ringside for a giant brawl. They rush down there. They fight. It's just like a brawl. And then Ricky Saints nonchalantly wanders to ringside in the middle of this brawl. He's in no hurry. He doesn't care. He gets the belt. He looks at it. Oba rises from the dead. He takes the belt. They look at each other. I was like, that's the worst television show I've seen this year. Golly. Dude, I hated that show. I hated it.
I would certainly not go that far. There have been some absolutely atrocious SmackDown
I know,
shows
but
that
I
we
can
have
hate
reviewed.
it, and I told you why. It sucked.
There may have been more egregious stuff on this show. Like, I can't get over the fact that Ava was gone.
Oh, I can.
That one?
Why? That was the most logical thing on the show. She set the place up for a riot and then went to England. That is Ava in a nutshell. Have you watched this show? That was the only thing on the show that made any sense. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Good, I'm glad I took a bunch of notes.
Sorry. What do you want to say, dude? We don't have time anyway. Hey, listen.
What was Lyra doing?
Bro.
What the heck was going on there?
Well, anytime Lyra is in NXT, you are guaranteed. I was watching. I told this on the Bryan Vinny show last night.
I was like, what is happening?
I went to the teriyaki place the other day, and they had a big TV, and they were playing General Hospital, but it was muted, and so you could only see the subtitles. And still, just watching the actors and seeing the subtitles, I was like, this is the worst trash acting in the history of man. And, like, you should have heard what I was watching on this show. At one point, this lady goes, "You stole my embryo!" That's what she said. I was like, haven't we seen that on NXT yet? But anyway, it was like the dirt worst. Lyra on NXT. And it was Lyra and Tatum. It is the worst, like the most overacted, just, I don't know, man. I just can't do it anymore. I used to love this show.
You don't want to talk about...
I look forward to this show every week. And it's broken me.
Cole Custer and Sam Meyer.
The butt guy?
The NASCAR Xfinity
Oh,
Cup.
those guys.
You can't even tell who's in dark. You can't tell who's the tag champs and
God.
who's in the NASCAR Xfinity
Yeah,
driver.
it was like I announced we're going to review 2005 Impact on Bryan and Vinny. So they were like, oh, he likes 2005 Impact? Let's bring in some NASCAR guys. Just rando NASCAR guys. And then, like, one of them does ring entrances. He's like,
it is NASCAR. He's in his NASCAR suit.
Match is, and Vic goes, this guy's just as good at ring announcing as he is at racing. And I'm like, he's that bad at racing? Because that was the worst ring announcing. You couldn't have been more monotone. Ah! I'm out of here, Observer Live! Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We all went to the AEW Wrestle Dream pay-per-view in the Tacoma Dome. What a dump.
They've remodeled in the last 5 years.
I don't want to watch a show in the Tacoma Dome. I'm over that part of my life.
So this is all about
I
you.
want
Okay.
It is all about me. It's my show.
Yep.
Sick of these crappy dumps.
Rico. Yes. Rico Constantino.
Mm-hmm.
When Rico Constantino showed up on the screen, I almost fainted.
If you would have slapped me with a bass, I would have been less surprised.
A bass,
Yeah.
you say?
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Now, you mean the fish or like a bass, the instrument?
No, a bass.
Well, he would have said a bass if he meant a bass.
Shibata hooks a rear naked choke, and Shibata's shoulders were down, and the referee counted 3.
I don't care what happened in Florida in 1973.
That is an Eddie Graham babyface finish when he wanted a heel to get a fluke win.
The crowd hated it.
Hated it.
You know, people are upset that Adam Cole's back as a babyface or whatever.
Why?
But, dude, he's been gone for a year. So they obviously want to do Adam Cole and MJF. MJF is a heel.
Mhm.
So obviously Adam Cole is coming back as a babyface.
Yes. Will Ospreay, Takeshita, and Ricochet. My rating for this match was 1 zillion stars. I believe this may be my new favorite 3-way ever. John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson.
You have to
Not a
say it in
fun
such a
match.
sad way.
Yes! It was sad. It was a sad match.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, before we even get to the post-match. The whole thing, start to finish, was sad. It was meant to bum you, the fans, out.
It worked.
It worked. It elicited emotions, which is what art is supposed to do.
It was very much like The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels when Undertaker retired him. And, like, that's exactly what happened, is everyone just slowly stood up and quietly, sadly walked out of the building that night.
There was one gentleman that was walking by us, and he was dripping in Bryan Danielson's merchandise.
Hmm.
And he was wailing. And he cried, forget my language, I can't believe they punked out my favorite wrestler like a bitch. And he was so
Wow.
upset.
And we go into that press conference. All I got to say about Don Callis is, man, I can't help but notice he's got a big mouth when he's got Takeshita right next to him, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That was a scintillating question. And I think maybe after that, we're finally, the Bryan and Vinny show might actually just be the Bryan show. That was producer Rob level stuff right there. Need to work on your game a little bit. Okay. Next.
Rob's so excited and happy now. He texted me today. So it looks like I'm feuding with Don Callis. Ha ha. That's what he texted me.
That's not the way I took it at all. I looked at his wiener, and now he's mad at me. Duh.
I may unleash on the Bryan and Vinny show tomorrow. No censors. Say whatever I want.
No FCC to shut
No
you down.
FCC, exactly. There's going to be some F's and some C's. You'll hear it.
Whoa.
You heard me. But anyway, maybe we'll go back and you can do some NXT notes afterwards, but...
Who cares?
Okay, dude, I said no, but you were the one like, I got notes. Let me get some news in, and if you want to read your notes, you're welcome to.
I'm going to read you the riot act in a few minutes, buddy. Watch yourself.
Tonight's AEW, Okada, Takeshita, and Hechicero against Mark Briscoe hologram at a mystery competitor.
They made it quite clear who that mystery competitor is going to be.
Yeah, they still haven't told you, but it's Orange Cassidy.
They did this.
Yeah.
The
No, they
thumbs
didn't do
up.
that. They did this. You have to do the weak thumbs
sorry.
up. Yeah. Get it straight.
I don't have it in me.
Chris Statlander versus Mina Shirakawa. Don't even get me started. That's for the AEW. The women's world title is on the line, everybody. Chris Statlander is defending the belt against Mina Shirakawa. And then Tony Khan has an important announcement. So we still only have 3 things announced for Dynamite. And only 2 of them are matches. So I would expect this will be a down week. I'm tracking this, by the way.
Any suggestions on what the announcement will be?
Women's tag titles. That's what I think it is.
Has the women's ROH Pure tournament started yet?
I don't know. They got a lot of stuff.
Somebody mentioned they should do a hardcore title, but have it just be for the women. And I was like, you know what? I'm all for that.
Oh, by the way, oh, God. As I look at the lineup for No Mercy, there's even more stuff from the show I'm reminded of that was just so stupid. I can't. Let's move on. So, added to the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2025, Velvet Sky and Angelina Love. They will be inducted into the Hall of Fame on October 12th at Bound for Glory, joining Mickie James. So I think everyone going to the Hall of Fame this year, all women. So there you go.
Knockout year.
It is a
for
knockout
the
year.
TNA Hall of Fame. I mean, that's some pretty good acts to go in, I would say. Mickie James, perennial top knockout in TNA, legend of the division. And I enjoyed the Beautiful People. They were a top act back in, 2010?
It's been a while.
Around there, but yeah. Definitely a memorable act for sure.
You guys remember the story on Tiffany? This just gets better and better. So Tiffany was doing a match on SmackDown. She did a moonsault. She banged her head. They quickly went to the finish. I was told very likely concussion protocol. She was still being advertised for a match on Tuesday for NXT. However, Tuesday came and she was removed from the match and she was replaced by Lyra. Then, they were selling shirts, a 3-way, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and Nia Jax. These shirts were being sold. It was on the lineup for the PLE this past weekend. Instead, they ended up announcing the match for next Friday instead. And obviously the reason they didn't do the match on the pay-per-view was she wasn't cleared. And then, we had to have the thing. Oh, she's not hurt. Timing issue. She's fine. She was never hurt. And I mentioned the other day, she was hurt. And it was a big thing. But you know what I learned today that I was astounded by? You guys aware that their claims that she isn't hurt and was never hurt? Last Tuesday, when she was replaced in NXT, Ava actually did a tweet saying she won't be in the match tonight because she's not medically cleared.
Whoa, but you have already set the precedent that you cannot trust Ava. How many times have you said this, Brian? She's incompetent.
Okay, fine. Well, you know who you can trust about her own health is Tiffany Stratton. She was on the Going...
Oh, I don't know. Source?
She was on the Going Ringside podcast, and she admitted WWE is taking precautions after the spot on SmackDown. Obviously, on that moonsault, said Tiffany Stratton, it was a little bit of a rough landing. I was fine, she says. It was more a precautionary thing and kind of monitoring to see if anything was bad about the fall. So, anyway, she was in concussion protocol. When she's cleared, if she's cleared by Friday, they'll do the 3-way. And that's the story.
That's some real low Piccolo style reporting.
Thank you. I don't know why it's such a secret when people are hurt or not hurt. Like, I don't get it.
HIPAA.
It's not HIPAA, dude. It's not HIPAA to say a person is hurt and in concussion protocol. It's not HIPAA if someone breaks their leg to say their leg is broken. Jiminy Christmas. You happy?
Very rarely, actually.
Golly. Did I break the HIPAA laws by saying you had a bad hip? No. You did. Correct? Tailgate brawl. Remember that thing?
No, I swear to God, when I saw this news and rating today, I was blown away because I was like, I didn't think it was on TV. I just thought that whole thing was on YouTube.
Well,
I had no clue it was on TV.
There's a decent chance that everybody watched it on YouTube because Collision, which actually the tailgate brawl actually aired on TNT, did 184,000 viewers and a 0.04. A horrific number. But yes, likely everybody watched it on YouTube. And not
or
Collision.
not at all because it was at like 10 a.m., 9 a.m. It was on really early. And that is the downside to these daytime shows.
No, it would have been on at
Yeah. Thank you.
11 Pacific.
No. I think that's when the pay-per-view started.
No. The pay-per-view started at noon. I was watching it live with Vinny. It started at noon. So this aired at 11 Pacific, 2 Eastern on TNT. So
1 hour pre-show?
Yeah. Lenny probably watched it.
Lemmy?
Goes, I had no clue the tailgate thing was different from the other pre-shows they had, like on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Man, how quickly they ditched, I should say, that Amazon Prime, huh? Get the pay-per-view on Prime. Get the pay-per-view on Prime. Get the pay-per-view on Prime. Hey, see you later. Pay-per-view's on Max.
I think you can still get it on Prime.
Well, yeah, but they're not pushing it like they were.
No. John Cena Sr. was a guest on Unscripted with Dr. Chris Featherstone lately. He said he didn't like the Brock match. Said it was a squash. He goes, a smart thing would have been at some point. Maybe we have outside interference, maybe, I don't know, count out. But the outside interference setting up the next match with Cena, whoever that might be. I saw those kids crying. This is not the way you want to have business go.
I think that's exactly how they wanted to have business go. I think they got the exact desired effect that they were looking for. Kids crying in the audience. How often do you see that?
And this guy here goes, or this John Cena Sr., he says, turning John heel was a great idea. The shock factor was great. But I think the storyline was destroyed. That was a very poor move, in my opinion, because it was a big gamble for everyone involved. To see how it started and then see the characters involved no longer be present, it's talking about Travis Scott and The Rock, well, the heel turn almost became non-essential.
What do you expect? The Rock was getting ready to fight in the Pride Grand Prix against some of the toughest fighters on the planet over the summer.
I'm pretty sure that movie was already filmed. Yeah.
Well, he was in recovery.
He was in recovery. He was... Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got. You can talk about TNA if you want, or NXT.
Oh, don't do this to me. Now I got like 3
Hey,
minutes
I can go
to get
through.
a full report
you don't have to do
now?
the full report. Is there anything else you want to talk about that we didn't talk about? Or should I just read text messages?
Well, no. I mean, I can go through a few things here. We didn't talk about Lexus King and Miles Bourne.
That was actually a good match, except it was a lights-out match, so they turned out the lights. You couldn't see anything. It looked like I don't know, it looked like an NWA TNA show at the fairgrounds in 2003.
With cheeks about to come out.
God.
I thought this
killed
was
each other in blackness.
I thought this is the best Lexus King match I've ever seen, actually.
It's pretty good.
And then Miles Bourne beat him with the Born Again off of the steps through a table and got the win.
This guy goes, they left the lights off? Yes. It was a lights-out match, so they turned off the lights for the whole match.
There was a spotlight on the wrestlers that you could see. A dim spotlight.
God. This was actually the worst WWE production I've probably ever seen. Like, they don't have bad production, but they did in that match. That sucked.
Back when they were in, like, the high school gyms on Raw.
I was even better lit.
Well, we had Ethan Page do an interview in ring. He passed Miles Bourne backstage, got to the ring, drew the attention to Dr. Wagner, who was sitting in the front row. He called the AAA Latin American champion into the ring to fight right then. So he does. He leaps in the ring, throws him around, throws on an ankle lock. Page taps out, and then Wagner rips off his mask, and instead, Tavion Heights. Which
and like a ref flew in, a ref like counted the pin or whatever.
The submission, and then he raises the belt, and it's like, shouldn't he be the champion now?
I was so confused.
But no.
Apparently it was non-title.
And he's defeated him ahead of his title challenge on Saturday, which to me does not sound good for Tavion Heights in that
Dude,
match.
they didn't even announce this match for Saturday. This was the angle to set up Saturday. He beat the guy in a flag match and didn't earn himself a championship match. Tyler Breeze won a championship match off him winning a flag match. And then he had to hide in a costume and submit the guy in an impromptu match to earn a title match.
Another issue with this is I sincerely believe that Dr. Wagner Jr. would have just gotten a bigger pop from the crowd. Right? So, like, Tavion Heights takes the mask off, and the crowd's like, it's a guy we see every week. So
that was dumb.
Jordan Grace
against Ariana Grace.
You know what?
I thought for sure, are we going to get Let's Go Grace? Grace sucks. Grace forever. Both these great. Nope. No one even thought about it. They chanted Jordan.
I think this is the first time I've seen Ariana Grace wrestle. Right up my alley.
It wasn't very good at all. What are you talking about?
I'm a big fan.
What are you talking about? She botched some spot so, like...
Oh, she just shoved Jordan over and then splashed her. That was sick.
God. This show was terrible. Do you understand?
We had Laney Reed defeat Candice LeRae in the speed tournament to get a shot at Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca and Zarya up in the arena like Statler and Waldorf, holding up signs, bad-mouthing the competitors, even though they're baby faces.
Yeah.
And then they did a bunch of roll-ups back and forth, and Laney Reed hit a pump knee and pinned Candice LeRae.
Dude, talk about concussion protocol.
Oh, she blasted her.
She almost killed her. And then they showed a replay in slow motion in case you weren't sure that she pretty much killed her. Dude, if I were in Laney Reed's position, I'd be really worried about killing Candice LeRae with a stiff knee. Anyway, back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Warner Brothers Discovery announcement came out, and the gist of it is Dynamite and Collision are going to remain on Wednesday and Saturday. Rampage appears to be history, which we had thought. Dynamite and Collision is streamed live on Max if you're a U.S. subscriber.
$555 million over 3 years, $185 million a year. Average $185 million a year. It starts lower. The middle year would probably be about that, and the third year would be up from that, and then the fourth year would be way up.
Big question for me is, are all the archives up? Or going to be up? Can I go back 5 years ago and watch all of the Dynamites in order?
I believe that they will be. Yeah, this won't be till January. I don't know that as a fact, but they're putting archival programming on, so there will be, I don't know if everything will be up, but there will be, I mean, I expect that everything will be up, yeah. I had a little announcement I wanted to make. A lot of people got really exposed, when this.
Oh, no, yeah, save that for the Garrett show.
I mean.
Save that one.
Why? You don't want any heat from these people who
Well, no, but I've heard it multiple times.
I've been sitting here playing punching bag for these clowns for years, and I mean, this was great. This was quite the week of vindication between the Vince McMahon documentary and this deal. Yes, for me, it was an even bigger vindication for Tony Khan. Not that it's even though they're completely different topics. The guy who spent 5 years with all these clowns calling him a money mark, and they went through a couple of years in money losses, which a lot of businesses do. And they could afford it, but the long-term goal was always to make this thing profitable. So at the end of the day, here we are, and with this deal, this is going to be the second most profitable pro wrestling company in the history of pro wrestling. And all of these people that, and it's like, I'm not saying you should have figured that much out, but in the last year, it kind of was leaning this way. And even if it wasn't going to be the second most profitable company in the history of pro wrestling, it would end up being profitable. which once you're profitable, the term money mark goes out the window. So anyway, this is like complete vindication. Jericho actually went on the show. I mean, it was almost like he was reading my mind with that line about, boy, did all these experts come off as being really stupid and out of touch. I don't know if he used those words, but they were. Because it's not like this came out of nowhere. We've been talking about this for months. I've been telling people. I've been telling them. I go like, you better frickin' pivot because you're going to look like fools if this deal comes in the way it looks it's going to come in. And none of them could stop. They're so deep into it. They've been lying to their podcast listeners for God knows how long. So anyway, there's a lot more to that. But anyway, I did want to get that off my chest.
Man, I hope Dynamite's good tonight.
You think Britt Baker's coming back?
No. I need a palate cleanser one way or the other. It is in Pittsburgh tonight. And somebody was like, if Britt's not back tonight, does that mean she's never coming back? And I was like, they've been in Pittsburgh many times and she hasn't come back yet, so she's got a long time left on her deal. So I don't think that tonight she's either there or she's never coming back. It's just another day where she's not back yet. So I don't know, man. Don't look at me. I got a lot of questions about a lot of things, and I don't know the answers to many of them. You know what I mean, Tom?
What a profound statement.
Thank you. I try. I do. Tonight it's Wrestling Observer Radio with myself and Dave. Last night was the final Bryan and Vinny covering Mid-South Wrestling, and what a final Mid-South it was. The debut, the television wrestling debut of young Shawn Michaels.
Wow.
Yep, and I couldn't believe my eyes, but he sucked. I actually thought that he was probably like a Kurt Angle, and from day one, was awesome.
You know what? That must be the part. That must be the part that I inherited from my trainer, Michael Shane, through Shawn Michaels. The part that sucked.
I mean, he sure got better quick, but, man, he was terrible in his first match. If it makes him feel any better, his...
We're still terrible?
No, his partner was much worse. All right. We got to go, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Wrestling Observer Live.